Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and welcome to the NASCAR CAM video teleconference. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. In a few minutes, we will conduct a question-and-answer session. Instructions and procedure will be given at that time. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. I would now like to turn the conference over to our host, NASCAR's Herb Branham. Herb, go ahead.
I appreciate that. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's NASCAR CAM video teleconference. We're leading up to Sunday's AMP Energy 500 at Talladega Superspeedway, Talladega, Alabama. That's going to be the 7th race in 2009 chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Our guest today, he's at the NASCAR Research and Development Center in Concord, North Carolina, Ryan Newman, driver number 39, U.S. Army Chevrolet. Ryan's 7th in the series points going into Talladega. He's had a lot of good runs there in the past. 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and 15 starts. Ryan, we're going to start off today. We've been, each week on our teleconference, we've been gathering some questions from our fans via NASCAR's Twitter account. And we have a fan in Fort Worth, Texas, Micah. She wants to know that after all this great success, Stewart-Haas Racing this year, would Ryan Newman perhaps one day want to jump into the driver-owner ranks and give it a try?
That's a good question, but that's honestly, it's not one of my goals. I think Tony's done a great job, and Gene Haas as well, as you know, as far as laying the groundwork and the shop and everything else, has done a great job. And I don't know that you could ever try to repeat that or duplicate it. Other people have tried even before Tony, so I don't think that that is something that I'm interested in. I know that there are. It's kind of like when things are on a grand scale. When they're good, they're great, but when they're bad, they're really bad. And I don't have any will to have those potential bad headaches.
All right. Thanks for that opener, Ryan. We'll go to the media now for questions for Ryan Newman.
Thank you. The floor is now open for questions. If you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. If you are using a speakerphone, we ask that while posting your question, you pick up your handset to provide favorable sound quality. If at any time your question has been answered, you can remove yourself from the queue by pressing 1. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. Please hold while we poll for questions. Thank you. Our first question comes from Kerry Murphy of the Final Lap Radio. Please state your question.
Hey, Ryan, I'm wondering, what can NASCAR do to fix the problem at Talladega? The drivers obviously don't like driving in packs, but that's due to the restrictor plates. But at the same time, NASCAR doesn't want the cars flying into the stands anymore. So is there anything in your view that they can do to fix that issue?
Well, I know they've made one big step, and that's to reduce the restrictor plate size, just to slow the cars down so that we're less likely to get airborne. I know the Speedway has made some improvements in respect to the catch fence and things like that, but ultimately we don't want to get to that situation. You know, realistically, the drivers, as NASCAR has evolved to the restrictor plate tracks, have changed the way they drive, and there'll be times where we single file out, and there'll be times where you know, we're 4 wide, 4 deep for, you know, among the whole pack, you know, at times. So it's just a matter of excitement and strategy and the timing of those things in conjunction with what lap we're on and you know, what there is to expect for the end of the race, because you know, I didn't expect the last race there to be two groups of 2 cars pushing each other and may the best 2-team win, and I just never really thought that was going to be a Talladega race. So realistically, you never know what to expect, but I know the restrictor plate change is a big thing, and you know, as I said, as NASCAR has evolved, you never know what you're going to get with the drivers and how their styles change.
All right, Ryan, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Brad Gilly of Performance Racing. Please state your question.
Thanks for taking the time, Brian. Appreciate it. If I could jump ahead a week to Texas and ask you about the double file restarts, it seems like, I mean, it's been a wonderful thing, and it seems like in most of the races we've seen restarts within about 25 to 30 laps or so. So how has that kind of ramped up the intensity for you guys on the racetrack when that happens? And looking ahead to next week, does that just give things a greater potential for a more exciting finish?
Well, the double file restarts are more advantageous at the bigger racetracks, especially the wider ones. I saw, for the first time in Martinsville this last weekend that the double file restarts really didn't make much difference. You could put cars that were more of equal competition levels side by side, and we just kind of ran side by side, at least what it seemed to be side by side for longer. And when you have that on a one-lane racetrack, it's hard to get 3 wide, but you get to Texas and you can get 3 and sometimes 4 wide in the corners. So I look forward to it. I think it's been a great addition to the excitement of racing that NASCAR is involved with the double file restarts, and Texas will be a great place for it.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. Our next question comes from Rusty Baldwin of NASCAR Media Group. Please state your question.
Actually, kind of along the same lines, I was just looking ahead to actually Phoenix. It seems to be actually a favorite of a lot of drivers, flat, mile track. Just your thoughts on the second trip out to Phoenix and maybe how it's different from the first trip.
Well, again, just like Martinsville, we'll have the first time for double file restarts at that style racetrack, or at that racetrack. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And Phoenix is a little different from Martinsville in the fact that you have a little bit more room to get 3 wide at times. But I look forward to it. It's a driver's racetrack. We've always said that because it's unique. It's different from one end to the other, and therefore the crew chief can only get one end perfect, it seems, and the other one the driver has to adapt to. So I look forward to going there. It's one of my favorite racetracks. I know Tony does the same, and those restarts will be interesting there as well.
Very good. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. Our next question comes from Dwight Drum of racestake.com. Please state your question.
Thank you. Ryan, Mark Martin recently described the preparation and compared Earnhardt Sr. and Jimmy Johnson. He said Jimmy is technical and he writes things down, and Earnhardt didn't take notes and just piled into that thing and drove it like an animal. That's his quote. You're probably the most analytical of drivers with your degree and everything. How would you describe your approach, and how do you think you fit in between a studious Jimmy and a just a jump in that car and pile in there, Dale Earnhardt Sr.?
Well, it's just like any other sport. Every driver has their little way of doing things, and whether it's Senior style or Jimmy Johnson style or Jeff Gordon style or Tony Stewart style or Bobby Labonte style, everybody's different, and you have to do what fits you to be the best that you can be, to be the most successful in your own mind, or put it down on paper the way it's going to be, or how you're trying to project what you want to do. And some guys are off the cuff, and some guys have to lay everything out. So and everybody's different is my point. So me, I wouldn't compare myself to either. I just I kind of do my own thing, and I have that engineering degree as a background, but I wouldn't say that distinctively drives what I do inside the race car or out of it.
Thanks, Ryan, and good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Our next question comes from Bill Flashman of Philadelphia Daily News. Please state your question.
Hi, Ryan. I see in Charlotte you were asked about your expectations for this season, and I think you said you weren't really sure how it was going to turn out. It's turned out obviously pretty well. I'm curious what your expectations are for next season.
Well, the one thing that I would say for sure is I feel like we should be able to expand upon this season, 2009, and take the relationships that we've built and start building better and faster race cars and things like that because of the things that we've learned together as a team, and what Tony Gibson and I have learned, what he's learned about the way I like to drive a car, and the way I learn from things from him of how he likes to adjust on a race car. So just being able to sharpen our pencil per se and shine things up a little bit, put a little polish on them, and just be better than we are in all respects. From a pit crew side, from a team side, mechanically and performance-wise, what we can do to be better. We should be able to capitalize on that, what we've experienced in 2009 for 2010.
Very good. Thank you.